We are live. Welcome to another episode of the Hobby Chop Podcast, the podcast for the people. I am Big Ken. He is Zip. Zip, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm good. I'm posted up in my hotel for my residency, but I'm really excited to get in a little bit of card talk tonight, and more excited that we have a fantastic guest who I see kind of as a Renaissance hobby man. When I say that, collector, former athlete, pro athlete, content creator extraordinaire, collection buyout, bargain boxer. Grading and flipping. I love those breakdowns. What else am I missing, Troy? This is Troy, t.rike cards. T.rike. How's it going?
I'm good, man. I think that's I'll take that. Renaissance man. I haven't heard that one before. We can stop it right there. But I'm good. I'm excited. It was great timing. You guys asked me to do this because I was thinking I haven't done a live stream in a long while. To just hang out with people, answer some questions and stuff. And this is good. Selfishly, it takes a little bit of the pressure off me too, because you guys are at the controls and I can just vibe. So it'll be good.
Yeah,
that's the best part, right? When somebody asks you to come on, you're like, "Yeah, I'll come on. I sit here. I'll answer your questions." Right? I don't have to worry about any other part of that. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. No. When I'm running it, especially, I feel like I'm tap dancing, and that's just kind of my personality. Like, it works well for cards. I kind of have like a little bit of a hyperactive mind, but then when I'm running something, I'm just like, oh, that's messed up, and I can't focus on just what's going on and being in the moment. So thank you guys.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate you coming on. Why don't we start, Troy? Just give us a little background of who Troy is, your hobby journey, and the decision to make the hobby a full-time career.
Really quick, we got the comments coming in hot.
Okay.
You wanna highlight that real quick, Ken?
Oh man, we are. Jeez, we're off to a flying start here.
Wow.
Most handsome. How's it like to be the most handsome in the hobby?
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. I'm tall. Maybe that deceives some people, but yeah, I'm chilling. But yeah, no, my background. Yeah, for people who don't know me, Troy, t.rike Cards. I've been creating content for a while, since 2020. Played college at Wake Forest. I played college basketball at Wake Forest in North Carolina. Collected cards my whole life. Same kind of story. Not as active with it in college and stuff like that. Went to play pro basketball in the Philippines and just had more time on my hands. And I just was like, oh, I really want to get back into cards. I started doing it and then went back over there. And then I was like disconnected from my cards. And I was just like, you know what? I want to do something hobby related. I couldn't really like international ship or anything. So I made the YouTube channel, and we're here now. We've done a bunch of different stuff, grading reveals. Sometimes I just talk about cards. We do the vlogs, we do experiments, financial stuff, and yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah,
really quick. I don't know if I've ever heard you answer this. What's the card market like in the Philippines? If that's kind of where you got back into it, or is it just through online that you got back into it?
Yeah, so I got back into it through some buddies in the States. So I got back into it when I was actually in the States. But the card market over there is interesting. People are like, oh, like people will even say like, oh, there's cards in the Philippines. The Philippines has some insane high-end collectors. Like there's some crazy, I think it's like Manila Card Collector and some other people on IGs. It's like Jordan Exquisites and LeBron Golds and stuff. It's an interesting market. I won't turn this into like a geopolitics podcast, but it actually mirrors the country a little bit. It's like the highest of the high end, and then like bargain people. Like I'm kind of in the in between, so I couldn't do much. I didn't see a ton going on there, but it's cool. I mean, the Philippines just loves basketball, right? So a lot of basketball collecting going on over there.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So when I jump back into the hobby, I always said, if it starts to feel like work, I have to find something else to do. So you do this full time, post up a lot of content, traveling to a lot of shows, things like that. Does it ever feel like work to you?
I mean, yeah, for sure. Like, I think, people say like, do what you love. You'll never work a day in your life. Like I don't believe it, right? Like, we're all different people, but when people are like, this is always 100% of the time easy, I just don't personally really believe it. So there's definitely times where it's work, you know what I mean? Especially the parts that aren't as fun, like shipping is a little bit of a grind. But the caveat I'll put to that is I know that I love it and that I have a great quote unquote job. It flies by kind of. Like it still feels like work, but I very rarely look at the clock and are like, ah, man, I wish I was done. You know, it's just like, oh wow, like I worked a lot today. So there's definitely tough moments, but I don't know. I just compare it to like I was doing, for instance, this is the best comparison. I was doing sales, like cold calling before this, and oh my God, like I would look maybe 12 and it would feel like 5 hours. I'd be like, oh my God, it's been 15 minutes. Cards is kind of the opposite. It'll be 5 hours and it feels like it's 15 minutes. So there's definitely tough moments, but I mean, I love it.
Yeah. And you know, who do you have to answer to, right?
That's the other part. That's just how I'm wired. And that's why I love what I do as well, because there's like an incentive for me to keep going. So that, and it's almost a bad thing, if anything. Like I feel like sometimes I work too much because I'll tell myself like, all right, be done at 5, but then it'll be like 6:30. I'm like, I could do a couple more things. Cause I'm like, if I work, I'm going to get rewarded for it. So that's the balance I'm trying to find. Like I used to love playing video games, but now I'm like, like, why am I playing video games? I could be doing something to grow the content or whatever, you know,
generate some income.
Exactly. Exactly.
And for somebody who, you know, I worked a full-time job, I had a full-time career, but I also had a business my whole life. And I always felt like I put more time into the business than I ever planned on it. But I mean, even though it felt like work, and I think this is what you're trying to say, at the end of the day, I think it was really worth it, right? Because you're doing it for yourself. You're not earning for anybody else. You're not doing it. You're doing it for yourself. And I think, you know, and sometimes when it's yours, right, you want to just do it better, you know, than you probably would for somebody else.
100%. Me and shout out to my guy Keen. Someone talked to Keen, also has a great YouTube channel. We talked about this a lot when we say to each other, like, I'd rather work more hours if I decide the hours. That's how I've always looked at it, for sure.
Yeah.
Troy, what was like, is there a certain moment or period of time where you remember it became like it graduated from hobby to job? Like when did that happen?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of, it was a little bit up and down, right? Like I wish like it was just kind of a clean realization moment and I had a kind of a great story, but it was weird. Like, you know, I was playing basketball in the Philippines and then I decided to retire and come back. And so people are like, oh, you decided to go do cards then? I was like, no, not really. Like, I was like, it was mainly just about that situation. I just was kind of done playing basketball. And then I came back and then I got a sales job at one point. And it wasn't even me who made the decision. I was talking to my parents, and my parents have always been so straight and narrow. Like, it's like, you're going to get a good job. You get good grades. You have to get the right job. It wasn't the type of parents where it was like, paint if you want to be happy. It was like, they supported me, but they're like, you need to do the right thing for your future. And then I told them, I was like, man, I really hate this job. Like, I really hate it. And they're like, well, why don't you just do cards full time? And I was like, shocked. I was like, really? And they're like, are you making, how much money are you making? I was like, well, not a lot, but enough. They're like, to survive? I was like, yeah, barely enough to survive. And they're like, well, why don't you just try it then? Just kind of go for it. So if anything, it was kind of my parents who pushed me towards it. And then I don't know. I didn't know if it was going to work or not. And knock on wood, now it's, you know, it's enough to make a living. But yeah, it was kind of like, I was almost pushed into it more than anything.
Well, it's nice to have supported parents like that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I didn't expect, I mean, they were great parents, super supportive, but I never would have thought they'd be on board with that idea. I thought they'd be like, no, you're not going to leave your job. Like, but they're like, no, if you think, not even if you think you have a chance, they're just like, if you're making enough money to kind of get by, like, give it a shot. So I was like, all right, why not?
It's also great that it's one of those things, unlike a traditional job where, like you said, you want to put more in, you will get more money, or at least you know the means to the end. Like, you know how you could, and it's not always like that in careers. So sometimes there's not unlimited overtime that you could do, hypothetically, if we're talking about sending cards to PSA to get 10s. I mean, in theory, there's a cap that you could send, but really you could send as many out as you probably have dollars that to buy, right? Like, in theory. So, you know, it's unlimited to that end. So yeah,
that's actually a good idea. Maybe one of these days I should do a video and just go crazy, like just send like 500, like 1,000 cards and kind of just see what happens. That would be like trying to do like the biggest PSA sub ever. That'd be interesting.
How many do you have at PSA right now? How many cards? Ballpark.
Yeah, 300. So like a good amount, but nothing. Yeah. I try to do like 100 a month, I would say.
Yeah. I'm pretty close. I
was going to say, I'm pretty close there too. That's pretty awesome. I was like, yeah, I'm right around 300.
I wonder why they're opening up 2 new locations.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It seems like grading is so much bigger. Like I remember when I first started doing it, like in 2020, it was like people were like so many people just didn't grade. And now it seems like it's rare if you find someone who doesn't grade at all, like everyone's kind of doing it now, I feel like.
Yeah. I think too, and I can say this because I was part of that crowd. I came in, 2020, and grading was like this whole other thing that like people were scared of. And then somebody be like, "Oh yeah, I grade." "Oh, you do? Like if I gave you my card, could you get it graded for me?" Like that was this big thing. And then all of a sudden, after COVID, people like myself and everybody else said, how hard could this be? Let me just figure out. And then from there, I think it just started to snowball, and then you got Kurt's Card Care and Mr. Minty and all these, telling you in the videos how to clean up your card and what to do to send them in. And I think, it was like a snowball downhill.
And I almost had that, because what you said, Troy, is really interesting. It's hard to find those cards that really are gradable still out in the wild. And I've seen something that you do that I also do, just not to the theatrical experience, and I mean that positively, because I love the video when you went up to, it was Seattle, right? Yep. Or was it? Love those. But when buying out those huge collections, I feel like that's the best chance of getting a bunch of cards to be able to grade, because they're with that person in a huge bulk. And if anyone's listening in the Connecticut, Rhode Island, Mass area, they're actually those collections don't exist around here. So don't bother looking. But yeah, you got to go out to, I guess, out west. But yeah. No.
Yeah, I mean, it's really special. Like, I don't mean to discourage people, but like at card shows, I don't even really look at raw anymore. If it's in a dealer's case, I'm just like, what are the odds? And maybe I should, but it's just like, it's really only the collections. And like, basically I have to know almost for a fact that it hasn't been looked over for grading if I'm going to send it in, because PSA has also gotten a little tougher. But yeah, like you were saying, Ken, back in the day, I almost had to persuade people to grade. Like they would have a really nice card and they would try to sell it to me raw. And I'd be like, dude, you should probably grade this yourself. Like you would do a lot better. They're like, oh, grading. No, I can't do that. And I'd be like, no, seriously, it's not that hard. You should just grade it. And then now everyone's on it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just going to hit a few questions here, comments. So it looks like you were part of the Philippines-Australia Rumble.
Oh, I want to hear about that.
Oh, are you guys not familiar with this?
No.
Oh man. Okay. All right. Well, I'll try to keep it short. This isn't a basketball podcast, but I played for the Filipino national team, basketball over there. And I don't know if you guys ever saw, but Australia and the Philippines got into a big fight during the World Cup qualifier. And Australia had like Thon Maker, Matthew Dellavedova, like a few NBA guys. And it basically all just popped off. There was a fight on the court. Like people were throwing chairs and stuff from the crowd. Like it was one of the wildest basketball fights ever. And I was there. So you can see me in the background of there's some viral TikToks and YouTubes and stuff that you'll have to see. You can see me in the background. It's pretty funny.
Now you know what I got to go look for when we get off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's a heck of a, once you see the fight, like I know you're listening to me. Like, oh, okay. Like when you see it, you'll be like, oh wow, this is wild.
Yeah.
So how many punches did you get in, or did you get?
I didn't throw any, actually. I was a peacekeeper. I got recognized for being a peacekeeper because I was like, it wasn't any, like it kind of got made into like a bigger thing than it was, because like I don't mind, like I don't mind a little scrap, like a basketball play, like it happens, you know what I mean? Like obviously I never want a fight to happen, but I'm not going to be like, no, we should never fight. But basically the crowd was getting involved, and they were getting involved on an Australian player and like basically curb stomping them. I was like, no, we're not, this I'm not down with. So basically I just kind of got them. off him. But yeah, no punches. I don't know if you can tell from the YouTube, but I'm not much of a fighter. So yeah, I wasn't in the mix too much.
Yeah. Steven Sass says, love when you travel overseas and show off your soccer cards at shows.
Thank you, Stephen. Yeah, there's at the National, there's an all, I don't know if you guys know, but there's an all soccer show that's going on, like parallel to the National, and I'm excited for that.
I actually set up at that last year because I lost my table at the National, and I had a lot of women's soccer stuff, so I set up at that show last year. Yeah.
Okay. It seemed like a good show.
Yeah,
it was good, right? Yeah. So I'm really excited for that. And I'm going to try to do some more. I haven't done a lot of like soccer specific content in a while, but I want to do some soccer videos like there this year. Nice. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah. My man, Craig, New York City Sports Cards.
It was great, man.
B&B.
It was elite. Oh, I think he's talking about the bagel spot. I'm pretty sure in New York. Craig, at the very least, Craig was recommending me some great spots in New York when I was over there for Fanatics Fest. So that's the fun thing about cards too. I love it, man. You get to meet people in different cities and experience different things. So yeah, Craig's a great guy. I appreciate the recs.
Yeah. Jordan asks, any tips on selling low-end cards in bulk, worth selling in bulk on eBay, like a lot sale, or going to a show and finding a dealer to buy in bulk?
When you say like bulk, it kind of depends what you mean, right? So I'm kind of torn on this. Like if you're talking bulk, I actually, I try to ask, I'm the same way. I try to ask people for advice. So I was talking to Chris Sewell, baseball card collector, investor, dealer. I don't know if you guys know him. Great YouTube channel. Definitely check him out. But I was like, what do you do with like the random cards you get from these collections? I'm like, they're worth something, like they're worth $1, but there's not a ton you can do with them. And he said that he creates lots like on eBay. He'll do like 100 card refractor lot and he'll sell them. And he says he actually does pretty well. For me, and obviously he's super successful, right? But I was just like, that just seems like a lot of work. So yeah, I don't know. With bulk, I haven't quite figured out. I get asked that a lot. I kind of just let it sit right now. And then the second part of a show, going to a show, finding a dealer to buy in bulk. I don't know. It's hard to buy from a dealer in bulk unless you're splashing crazy cash. Like they're already set up, right? So if you're going to come in and like try to buy at a low percentage, they're not going to be super incentivized to do that most of the time. Maybe if they have a dollar box, that's a chance. If you're willing to kind of kick the tires on dollar boxes and see like what people would take from them, you might be able to do well with that.
And I think followed up and said $5 to $15 cards, which I think greatly changes that.
Yeah, I'll let Ken go ahead though with the.
I two comments I was going to make on that. One, I think going to try to sell these boxes to a dealer, like you're not going to get much for them. I mean, I know as a dealer, if you're coming to me with a box of cards, I'm certainly not going to offer you a lot because though that box equals work. Like you've got to go through that. You've got to figure out what you have in there. You have to separate them, price them, things like that. Sometimes it's just not worth it. Now he says $5 to $15 cards on here. To me, those are great cards that I'll drop in a box and I'm happy to have at a card show. Those $5, $10, $15, $20 cards. I love to have those because I find those will pay for a table. They'll pay for lunch, maybe my gas for the, something. So I think those kind of cards are kind of great to have on hand.
Yeah, I was just I will say Cardboard Collaborative kind of had the right idea there, though. I'm starting to send. I would say my cutoff for ComC is maybe like $8 now. Still for me, a $15 card. Like people say it, but like it's I love ComC, but I think it'll move quicker on eBay though. People are it cross-lists to eBay. It does, but I think with a $15 card, unless you're I don't know, man. I move a lot of cards and like I'm fairly busy. I still think $15 cards are worth the squeeze for me to put in the work on eBay. But lower end stuff, I think ComC can definitely be a really good tool.
Yeah. So that brings I'm glad to get those questions because that kind of brings me into a question I had is in your opinion, the most important price point in the hobby. So in these cards where you got to talk about dollar cards, 5, 10, and then we could go to 1,000, 10,000, 50,000. I mean, where do you think the most important price point on cards are in the hobby?
I would say like the 200 to 100 to 500 level. I know that's kind of a wide spread there. And it also depends, right? Like it depends on your definite most important, like for me, for other people, for flipping, for collecting, for making blah, blah, blah. But the thing about 100 to 500. So the good things is, first of all, just as the hobby in general, you would be shocked at how many great $300 cards you can get. Like it's incredible, right? Like that's kind of my counterpoint to wax and stuff. Like I think there's a lot of people who spend like, a $2K a year on wax or something. That's not crazy, but it's like you could build something crazy with 2K. Like I know, especially in the soccer world, like you can get like Thierry Henry, like rookie stickers and like Iniesta and like all these like or Harry Kane low numbered autos, like this dynasty patches, incredible stuff for like $250, $300. Even in other sports, like I'm shocked. I was looking at just some random videos today of like the dynasty baseball patches. Actually, I just bought one. I just bought here I have it. I happen to have it right here. Like a Vladimir Guerrero dynasty patch auto. I got this for like $150. Like imagine just having a great collection of this and Henri and everything like that. So first, I think it's just great for collecting. And also the other thing too, like you buy this for $150, even if you're just a collector, you're not going to get smoked, right? So you're getting a lot more value and something a lot cooler, in my opinion, than if you were spending $25. But you're also not buying a 5K card where you really have to like sweat. And this is like this is going to impact your life potentially. Yeah. And then also just on the flipping side, it's the same kind of thing, right? Like it's hard to make a full-time living on $5 cards, but also I don't like to sweat it out over 10K cards and risk it like that. It's just not generally my thing, where 500-ish, 100, and then, sorry, I'm rambling a little bit. $100 cards are great too, because you can grade them, and then there's a massive upside that's kind of worth your while. But also at the same time, you're not going to get killed if you buy a 5K card and it grades bad, and then you're stuck with it and stuff like that.
So do you kind of have a bottom line on a flip? I'm not gonna take a chance on a $25 or a $50 flip. Like I'm good with a 60 or 100. Or are you okay with those singles, those $20, $25, $30?
Yeah, like I mean, I'll do anything, right? Like almost to a fault. Like I just love dollar boxing. I cannot help myself. People think I'm joking in my videos. I literally think I'm an addict. Like it's like fishing to me. It's just so calming. I love it. And if I broke it down analytically, I hate people, especially sports card YouTubers who take themselves so seriously. Like I'm not that important, so you have to forgive me when I say this. But like in terms of being worth my time, like turning a $1 card into $3 or even $5, I will say $3 isn't really a great use of my time, but I just love it. So I still do it. And then just the other day I bought we'll see, it'll be coming in some national videos. I bought like literally in the span of 1 week. This past weekend I was dollar boxing in the quarter box, and then the same weekend I bought a $14,000 Lamine Yamal card that I'm planning on flipping. So I do a little bit of everything. I definitely don't have hard and fast rules. It all just depends on the deal as well.
Yeah.
I'm a little curious about your basketball background and maybe how your experience at a very high level of basketball, has that ever impacted on how you maybe, I wouldn't say collect, but how about prospecting? Has that ever been like, oh, maybe if I see this guy's cards, I'm going to pick them up, and if I have to put them away, it's okay. I have, you have that eye maybe from playing at a high level.
Yeah, I would say a little bit. I think definitely understanding. I would say it's not even specifically basketball. It's just all sports, kind of understanding dynamics, like especially prospecting. I would say a big thing is seeing there's a big difference between performance and like boom potential, right? Like you'll see certain prospects come up, at least in the basketball world, right? Someone will score, let's say a rookie scores 20 points, but it's like he's a spot up shooter. Like that's what he is. He had a good game, but he just doesn't have the tools to really become a big time player, to become hobby relevant like that. And then also just understanding dynamics and stuff like that in a locker room. And sometimes when a player struggles, I like to think, okay, I kind of see what's going into that, or they're not using him the right way. So I don't know. I mean, there's more stuff we get into. I think it helps a little bit, but as I've said to a bunch of people, like GMs and coaches get paid millions of dollars a year and they can't get it right most of the time. So who am I, or who is anyone to pretend like we actually know what's going on, you know? So I'd like to think it helps me a little bit, you know, but if I had to quantify it, it's like a 2% edge or something. Like it doesn't help me that much.
Gotcha.
So really not a lot of prospecting for you?
No, not recently. The other thing too, I think the biggest thing too is with this being my full-time job, I just have to keep it moving. I recently made the switch, so I'm really excited now where, you know, I think I'm in a little bit of a better position, but especially when I was really every dollar I needed it to just survive and prove myself that I could do this. It was like, there's no such thing as money sitting. Like it's not possible. But now, so I didn't buy many investment pieces for like years, like 2 years almost. But now it's cool where I'm picking up some cards, not really prospects, but more long-term grails and stuff I want to hold on to. But yeah, so not a ton, maybe some low-end prospecting, but it's not like like I'll buy like Pete Crow Armstrong because he's hot, right? But that's not, I don't know how he's going to do.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting, and you talk about this being your full-time job and watching every dollar, right?
Yep.
Where you'll listen to me say, I'm buying now for 6 months from now or 8 months from now, right? That's the way I look in the hobby. And then I listen to you do it, and I'm like, yeah, it's a complete opposite, but it makes sense, right? Because what you're doing it because you need to see that income or that profit or whatever on your monthly basis, where you know, you're not at a point where you can, you know, put stuff away and say, hey, 6 months from now or 8 months from now, this is, you know, I can sell this at, you know, I'm talking in November about selling stuff at the National or something like that, right? Where you're like, I'm talking about the National in June, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and also just with the collections and stuff too, like, you know, if you spent 10K on a card and it turned into a 15K card, like that's low-key a home run. Like that's a really big hit. Where for me, like I'm lucky too, where I'm in a position where I get approached with more collections than I can really afford to buy at this point. And, you know, if I'm buying a 10K collection, most of the time I'm kind of planning on turning it into 15K, obviously with a lot of work. But so it's kind of hard for me at times to be like, okay, my best case scenario is what I'm pretty much guaranteed if I just put the work in. I'm like, I'd rather just put the work in.
Yeah. And it's a lot, right? I mean, you talk about, you know, buying a box of cards, right? Or buying a collection. It's a lot of work to pull that thing apart and put it out. So you may buy it for 10,000 and sell it, say, for 15,000, and people will be like, wow, you made 5K on that. But they don't see all that work and all that work you had to put into, you know, going through those cards, looking at the condition. Do I grade them? Do I sell it? How much is the card worth? I mean, so many things are involved in doing that. And do you think about that? Like, is that at the forefront of your mind when you're buying a collection?
For sure. Not as much as it should be. At the beginning, it wasn't, right? Like I was just it's just like, I will make my hands, like I'll do anything to make this work. But now I definitely think about it a lot more. And I try to I'm doing a better job actually recently of reminding people of that. Like I just did a deal where I bought some nice higher end cards for like, I think it was $17,000. And the total value on it was like 22 or something like that. Or it might have even been like 21, but basically I'm fudging the exact numbers, but I was just like, all right, so it's worth, let's say 21. I was like, if everything goes right, I get to sell it to dealers at a high percentage, no comps come down, because he wanted to be at like 18 or something. I was like, my best case scenario is basically 19.5. And that's best case scenario. And I'm going to have to do a lot of work. So, you know, I was just like, I am doing a better job of just thinking about those margins and how much work and also the risk. That's the other thing too. Like my plan is to turn 10 into 15K, but more often than not, not even more often than not everything is going to go exactly to plan. There's going to be some things and cards that go down and I miss comp cards and stuff. So I'm thinking more about the work and my time, the more I go.
So when I buy collections, I usually have the end user in mind as I'm buying them. I'm curious, and obviously you don't have to like go and say, "Oh, I'm moving this here, this there."
Yeah.
Like, but when you're going through these huge collections, do you have like, I don't know, let's call it a buyer pool in mind for a certain certain values or certain sports and things like that?
Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't even say necessarily like specific buyers. It's more where they're gonna go. And that's what I would say. If anything, I actually get made fun of in my videos of like not really knowing what I'm doing. But this one I'll actually stand on that I think I'm actually good at is knowing where to send certain cards. Like even if you just talk about a $10 card, there's a huge difference. There's a $10 eBay card, there's a $10 whatnot card, there's a $10 ComC card, and there's even a $10 card show card. There's a bunch of, even at the same exact price point. That's not even taken into account. Now we're talking about $5,000 cards or an $1,000 card. Are you going to grade it, or are you going to send it to auction while the iron's hot because this is a brand new Bowman Chrome Auto and you're playing with some risky waters there? So yeah, I definitely take that into account when I'm buying a collection too. Like if it's all slabs and liquid stuff, I know you can sell that to like a repacker and get a higher percentage pretty quickly. There's not as much risk. So I'm not as worried at taking a percentage, or, this is stuff that just happens to be near me. So I apologize. But like I just bought this, this was in a collection. It's a Aaron Judge, Anthony Rizzo 101 Dynasty. So this is a pretty cool card, but it's not really like there's not a set price on it. Like this, I probably wouldn't sell this to like a repacker or something like that. This is a collector's card. So this is going to go somewhere different. And I definitely think about all those things when I'm buying.
You said those Judge and who?
Rizzo.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's an interesting one. And it's fun because, like the Jeter and Judge version of that did like 15K or something crazy.
Like a crazy number.
Yeah. But so it's like, how much does Rizzo devalue that? I mean, I know a good amount, but it'll be interesting to see how much.
So we have questions here. Big John collector's cards. How do you keep track of your eBay inventory?
Well, I mean, the good thing about eBay, I like having everything listed on. I have pretty much everything I own is listed on eBay because that keeps track of it. If I want to know what Mike Trout cards I own, I type in Mike Trout and it shows me my inventory. I want to know what Mike Trout cards I sold. For the most part, I sold them on eBay. I can go and see it. And then also, obviously, I have a video where I kind of break it down, but I have a closet and it's by sport and alphabetical. And then that's a really good system for me. And I think for 99.9% of, like, some people have asked me about like SKUs and stuff like that. I'm sure it works for some people, but I think for most hobbyists, you'll be just fine with a basic kind of system. I like doing alphabetical. Yeah.
I watched your video you put out talking about, the income you make on eBay and your content, YouTube and things like that. And it was interesting to watch with your eBay that you went right to eBay and just use their tools. I mean, everything was within eBay that popped right up. And I know, over the years, eBay has come a long way with doing that. But, watching you pull that up, because I sell a lot of stuff on eBay too. There's some of those things I never even looked at. I went back and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I learned something here. Yeah. So
no, eBay has incredible tools in there. That same thing. Like I even the promotion, like I was like, oh, I can do combined shipping. Like there's still, I swear I don't know 95% of stuff on eBay. So there's a lot of stuff to unpack there.
Yeah. Let's see. Wally says, not new to the hobby, but new to selling. Have just shy of 200 orders in 62 days of selling. My biggest downfalls are obviously fees. Any tips, tricks for new sellers in my position?
Well, first off, congrats. That's really good to have 200 orders in the first 62 days if you just started. Fees, yeah, I mean, obviously it sucks, but you just have to just, like, for instance, I always recommend people start off with low dollar cards, but like they're like, oh, $1 into $3 is pretty good, but with the eBay fee for the like, you're only getting, like, in my head, I'm like, I'm only getting like $1.90 or $2 actually when it's all said and done on such a cheap card. So you'll learn, you just have to bake that in. Like, you have to realize that the fees are there. They're never going to disappear. Like if someone's like, oh, I'll sell you this $100 card for $100, I'm like, this isn't a $100 card in terms of what I'm going to sell it for. Like if it's a $100 card, you're looking to get like 90, which is, you know, with eBay fees. General tips and tricks, I would say, yeah, just I don't know. I just start off slow. I kind of already said it. But other words, yeah, I get asked this a lot, and I wish there was like one specific thing, but I don't know. Watch my videos. There's a lot of different tips and tricks. Sorry, I can't sum it up any more succinctly than that.
You know, it's funny, and I've said this to other people, and they laugh because they agree with me. Once you start to sell on eBay and you put a few cards up there and they sell, you're like, all right, you're packaging up. Then you're looking around your office. You're like, hey, I could sell this. Hey, I could. Then you're like circle 3-4 times. Next thing you know, you got a stack on the desk. You're taking pictures, and before you know it, you got 200 cards, or and it's like all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, you're like, okay, now I'm an eBay seller, right? It's one of those things that after it's like we were talking about the grading, right? Once you get your feet wet in it, you can't stop.
But it's shocking how well it works. Even now, I kind of still surprise myself. Like same thing, even though I do this full time, I'll have like certain cards on my desk. Like I don't even know. Like this isn't a good example because I didn't actually do this one, but like sometimes I have like oversized cards or something. I'm like, let me just list this up on eBay because and then it sells. I'm like, oh wow, that's free money. You know, like you almost, I even still surprise myself, like the ease of eBay. It's like, wow, I can literally just grab this and turn it into money. Like it's an incredible tool. Like we're in it. But then when you step back and think about it, I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love the reach of it, especially with soccer. Like I vividly remember being at a card show and getting an eBay notification that I had a KDB PSA 10 Prism World Cup. It was like a blue scope or something like that. Sell for like literally like 50% over my sticker in the showcase on eBay for just like a buy it now. And I'm just like, oh, I'll just take this out. And have you ever had anything like that? I'm sure you have.
I mean, yeah, soccer is incredible for that. That's one of the reasons I like it so much. And I guess it works with me. It's like a card that could literally be in someone's dollar box is worth $30-$40 to someone else. You know, that's the crazy thing. Like, I mean, I think I literally had an example. I don't know what I bought it for, but it was probably dirt cheap. Is I sold like a Patrick Schick and an Adam Holizek card to Czech Republic players, to someone in the Czech Republic.
Yep.
And it's like, I'm sure he's so hyped about this. And I don't, once again, I don't remember exactly what I got him for, but I'm like, I'm sure I got these dirt cheap.
Yeah.
So that's where soccer is really special. It's like, I probably found these in literally a box in Sacramento, California. And now they're headed out to the Czech Republic to someone's collection. So that's the eBay arbitrage with soccer is crazy, but it happens with other sports too. And it makes me happy. I don't mind people. Ken can probably relate to setting up as a dealer. I don't mind if someone has a different opinion on my card's value or wants to negotiate, right? Like if I have it at 100 and they're like, I kind of want to be at 70 because I see this, and that. I don't mind that. But when people go, bro, you can't do 70, it's not worth 100. Or you look at the card, like, tell me that I'm wrong about my card and are kind of rude about it. And then, like so much of the time, like you said, that card will literally sell for $150 on eBay the next day. And I'm just like, man, I'm so happy I didn't sell it to you. Like I said, I don't mind. Like if people can get a good deal or negotiate with me. But when people are a DICK about it and tell me I'm wrong and then it sells for more, that's always a little satisfying.
Yeah. Card show sales, like you see everything at a card show. Some of the funniest things that related to that are I'll be negotiating with somebody over a card and they'll be like, no, that $100 card, nah, that thing's only worth $50 or $60. Nah, I can't get any higher. And I'll say to them, hey, 75 is the best I can do. Now I've got it at 100. I'll say 75 is the best I can do. And the guy standing next to him is like, sold. So I'll take it, throw the money out. And the guy's like, whoa, wait, we were a done deal. And I'm like, no, that card is sold now, I hand it off to somebody else. But yeah, it's a whole different animal there. And you know what? A lot of that, and I don't know how much you do on like Facebook, in groups like that. But a lot of that, flows over. That card show mentality flows over when you try to post a card up there and people just start attacking you like the price police. Like they just start attacking, and then somebody will DM you and be like wanting the thing for half price or something. Like they're trying to set you up to take you down or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this price police thing is got it's like either buy it or move along. Like
that's the thing. I have a couple of rants. eBay, I've been getting so much of that. Obviously the what's your best, just I hate that. It's like, what are you doing? So first of all, get that all the way out. The one, it just seems like a lot of people too have recently been, and maybe I'm part of the problem, they're just parroting what they've been told or what they think they should be doing. So like one thing, like people will offer me 70% of comps on, or what they perceive as comps on eBay all the time. And I'm like, 70% of comps is not an eBay thing. That's not how it works. Like it's one thing to try that at a card show. If you're looking to get under comp steals on a buy it now, eBay is not the place for that. Yep. And then also, once again, like you said, like someone sent me a message today, like on a card, they're like, I'm willing to pay the fair market value, but I'm not desperate. So I will not be going blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I literally said, thanks for sharing your opinion on the market. It's like, you know what I mean? Like whatever, dude. Yeah. So yeah, you get characters on eBay too. That's for sure. Yeah. But what I like though, is at least on eBay, it's just out of my face and I don't have to deal with it. I'll just look at the message. I'll be go, what's wrong with this guy, and move on, as opposed to someone's in my face bothering me.
Yep. You don't have to answer. Homer Sports Card says, what's your best? Get that too often. Make an offer.
Yeah.
And it's funny. It's funny too. I actually shout out. I'm giving all the YouTube shout outs today. Shout out Clever Cuban Cards. Yeah, he does good TikTok and YouTube as well. But he said you're going to get your success rate is going to be a lot higher if you at least throw out a number, any kind of number as well. Because it's the same way. If someone comes up to me as a dealer and they're doing the what's your best and just trying to, or comp hammering me right off the bat, I just don't want to do a deal with them anyways. Even if they're really low, like I always tell people, as long as you're respectful, you can say just about anything. Just be like, hey, I know you have a sticker at 300. I'm closer to 200 just based on what I'm seeing. But even if you say that, right, that's a huge low ball. Yeah. That's way more. I'm much more willing to get a deal done with you as if you walk up, what's your best? What's your best, man?
Yeah. Yeah. Or even a positive response, right?
Yeah.
From you. Yeah.
Yep.
That phenomenon makes me think of the people who will have different websites with the same product, and they'll specifically market them differently at different price points for different people, because some people want to go and literally pay what the most is because they want the best. They think the most is the best. Then they'll have someone that's in the middle because they don't want the cheapest item, but they don't want the most expensive either. So they want to feel like they got some sort of a deal. Then they have the people who want the cheapest. And then with eBay too, that's why I use a consigner, because the thing that you said, I would ask how much sunlight he gets in his mom's basement, because I if I see those messages, I will just get triggered. I won't be able to do it. So that's why I send it all out to consignment, and my buddies over at PC Sports Cards, they deal with all the psychos for me.
Yeah, I mean, consignment is the move. You got to have a certain temperament to kind of deal with the messages and stuff like that. So yeah, there's a lot of knuckleheads in this hobby, and that's honestly, that's one of the reasons I don't set up. I can deal with it online for whatever reason, but at shows I'm kind of over it, and that's one of the reasons I haven't been setting up as much lately. So I totally get where you're coming from.
When you're buying, and I'm not talking collections now, but at shows or just buying cards, are you working off percentages? Do you have kind of your own, what your how you're going to price a card? Are you basing it on percentages? Are you basing it on something else?
No, especially now. The good thing is like I've been doing a lot more whatnot lately, so I'm a little bit more flexible to just kind of like, I still look at comps and stuff, especially if it's a bigger player, but I'm not as married to them. It's just like, what do I think I can move it quick? What do I think it'll go for? So I kind of just find a relative price I'm comfortable with. Yeah. But even just before then, no. And especially not hard and fast rules, right? There's some people who are like, oh, I have to be at 85% or something like that. Like, no, it all depends on the card. I would say, but in general, I would say I aim to be at like on like, well, it also just depends on the type of cards, right? Like if it's bulk, I want a little bit of a deal, but I would say on like in 100, like if a card, I think a card is worth $100. Maybe I'm buying two $100 cards. I want to be at like 90ish, like 180, something like that. I would say the rough, like 150 is just too low. Like 75%, I don't, unless I'm buying a crazy amount, it's just too low to buy from a dealer, honestly. And then 95, 100%, it's just not really, there's not enough in it for me. So usually I find like 85, 90% is kind of a nice little middle ground for me to be roughly at. But once again, it depends on the card and stuff like that.
Yeah. That makes me think too. What do you think the number is? Like, what's the threshold of like, oh, I need to comp this? Like value. Like,
oh yeah, over. I would say anything over $10. So I'm probably lower than most people. Well, it depends. It just depends what type of card it is, right? Like if I see like messy refractors or like I said, like Pete Crow Armstrong earlier, like rookies and stuff. Like even if it's $10, I'm like, I was like, it might be 12. It also might be 8. I'm fine with it at 10 sticker. Let's just keep it moving. But certain things, like when I don't know, like I just at my recent card show this past weekend, I picked up a lot of like not vintage, but older stuff. Like I don't even know. There was like Edgerrin James and Mark Bulger numbered stuff. I was looking up a good amount of that because I'm not as familiar with it, even though it was fairly cheaper stuff. So I guess, yeah, it just depends.
I feel like that period of cards too, like randomly, something will just be like, whoa, this is a few $100. Like, you know what I mean? Just like that.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I posted on it on Instagram the other day. I picked up, someone gave me a box of cards. And there was like, take 300. Well, actually, they walked up to it. I was at a dealer's table and they walked it up to the dealer and like, hey, do you want this? He's like, I really don't. I was just standing there quietly. And then he turns to me and goes, you want this? And I was like, maybe. And then I took a look at it and picked it up. And there was a Rams jersey card in there, numbered out of 25. So it was cool, from 2000. And I sold it for $350 on eBay. I never would have guessed it would be worth it because it was called Championship. Like there's just certain cards that collectors really collect. And then also at the same time, like I was talking about Mark Bulger, they're numbered out of 10. I was like, this has to be a gold mine. I was like, Mark Bulger is pretty good. And I know out of 10, like people go crazy for these older, it's worth like $2. I was like, no way. An older out of 10. So you just never know. It's kind of random.
Yeah.
Ziggy, he wants to know, how do you grow? Do you consider becoming a breaker?
Oh boy, how much time do we have here? Yeah, I mean, I've definitely considered it. I'd be lying if I said I didn't. But I don't know. It's a tough one. I think I'm going to sound a little self-important again, but I'm pretty protective of my quote unquote brand. So anything I could do to maybe alienate people would be tough. Like what did Michael Jordan say? He said Republicans buy shoes too. Like I'm like, I kind of, for bad or for worse, like I kind of want to appeal to everyone. So I know going into breaking might alienate some people. So it's something to consider.
Not the F them kids quote from MJ.
No, that's a great one too. Jordan has a lot of good quotes.
Then you could become a breaker.
There you go.
Depending on the quote. Yeah.
That was a high level joke there. If people get that one.
Hey, when you're at card shows, who's your go-to for comps? Where do you get your comps?
I would say Card Ladder is the main one because it goes back. But I would say I don't know. Sometimes I just randomly alternate. If it's a liquid new card, like you have like a downtown or something like this, I'm just going to eBay because it's just clean. But if it's something that I know probably hasn't sold more than twice in the past 3 months or whatever, I'm going straight to Card Ladder.
Mm-hmm. And any cards that, and I just talked about this on my last episode, any cards that haven't sold in a year, and it's set up as a dealer, you go to these shows and you've probably seen this. Somebody will come up and they'll give you a card. And you're like, wow, this is a really nice card. And it may be like a pop 1 or maybe even a pop 2, but it hasn't sold in 3 or 4 years. How do you feel about cards like that? Do you find those, too hard to try to move, or do you think of it the opposite way? Like, this is a really unique card, and I could probably have a lot of fun trying to move this.
It depends. It depends on the card. I know that's sort of a cop-out answer. I know, like, for instance, I know I'm in the soccer world a lot. If it's a soccer card, I want no business with it because, like, first of all, that probably happened during 2022 then when the market was super inflated.
Yep.
But then it also just shows like there's probably not a huge demand for that card in general, right? So yeah, it just depends. I will say I probably have to be somewhat familiar with what goes on around that card, right? Like I gave the example of like Mark Bulger and these 2000s football cards. If someone brought me that and it comped like 2 or 3 years ago, I'd be like, I'm not comfortable enough with this market to kind of know, has the market gone up since then for this particular stuff or blah, blah, blah. That would scare me. But like, if you brought me like a Formula One card that hasn't sold in 3 years, I'd be giddy because I'm like, I know exactly where this market has moved and stuff. And I there could be a big opportunity here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think too, those type of cards, those one-offs or haven't sold in a while, I think those are great cards for eBay, for consent to consignment that's going to run it on eBay, because I just think there's collectors out there for that card. But for me to find them at a card show, the chances are really, really slim.
For sure. Yeah, there's definitely, that's what I said too. It's probably a whole nother podcast, but you know, not all comps are created equal, right? Like sometimes when it's those special cards and I see that they ran on an auction, like not at a great time during a weird part of the season, then I get really excited. I'm like, oh man, if I can buy this for below this auction, I know if I just stick it up on eBay, it's eventually going to do well. Once again, sorry for harping on a sport here that probably no one collects or sells, but like Formula One, like a lot of those cards do terrible on auction. So if I see what I know is a good card that has a low auction comp, I'm like, this is great stuff right here.
I know my guy Cardboard Collaborative who's in here watching. He was a big Formula One guy when they came out. You know.
There we go. All right, I'm not the only one then. I like it.
So Buck Swope, Troy, as a collector from Asia, how were you able to manage your collection and sales from outside the U.S.? And I guess he's saying when you were in the Philippines.
Yeah, I was super lucky. I had one of my buddies who was kind of doing cards with me. He handled basically all of it, and he's the reason I'm still here today. Like I don't think many people have friends who would basically just handle the business pro bono. So he just saved me. And also, to be fair, I wasn't doing close to as much. I try to keep it limited with what I would ask him to do. But if I was doing it nowadays, the good news is there's so many more tools. Like if I was doing it now, I'd be heavy on ComC, heavy on, Alt and Fanatics Collect and using the vaults. And, you can grade straight from eBay to PSA now. Like I would just basically keep it all digital. But the thing about that though, which I like, I can grind the low end. You definitely can't do that when you're outside the States.
Yeah. With I know this question came up earlier. I'm not sure who asked it. I will find it. How do you feel about eBay maybe doing extended bidding?
Oh, I don't like it. For me. I mean, well, first of all, because I'm a dirty, no good sniper. That's how I set my snipes.
That's
I set my snipes. So definitely selfishly, I don't like it, but. Yeah. I don't know. I just don't I don't get it. Like, what's the, like, bid what you want to, like, because even though I'm a dirty, good sniper, right? It's like, I'm going to set my best price that I want to bid for it. And if somebody else is willing to pay more for it, they get it. That's it. It's done. Let's call it a day. Versus like, I feel bad, but like I'll just keep it broad. Certain auction houses, you don't know how far it's going to be extended. I texted my buddy. I'm like, when is this thing actually going to end? I got stuff to do. I can't just wait around all night for that. Like, that makes no sense for him. Why are we sticking around? Like, say your price, say my price. Let's get it done. Like, I don't know. I mean, people say I also don't do auctions on eBay. The other thing too is people are like, oh, it'll be better if you're a seller. I don't really auction anything. I think even then, I mean, if we're talking about like 5-figure cards, if we want to have some dramatics to it all, that's fine, I guess, as long as it doesn't drag out too long. But like, if they're doing that I mean, it would do my head in if I'm bidding on a $10 card and I got to stick around to figure out what happens. Like, I don't know. That's just me though.
Yeah. So you just said something interesting. Sorry, Zip. Yeah. You said that would be auction. So all your stuff is it a buy it now?
I'll buy it now. I do auctions. If very rarely, it's only very specific circumstances, and that's something that I would stand on, especially for lower end cards. If you're willing to be patient, I think I'm not saying you'll necessarily make more money in the end because, you know, if you can turn things over quickly. But for me, the difference between buy it now and auction, especially in sports like soccer and Formula One, is just huge. How much you can change your return.
Oh, I was gonna say that someone who's, I mean, it's through consignment, but it's through eBay, and it's been like several thousand cards on auction this past year. I can't wait for it. It's just like, because I just think you look at it psychologically, and it's just enforcing for the bidding. I think it's enforcing FOMO, and it's like, oh, like how many? Because Ken and I talked about this the other day. I lost out on a card that I put like a bid that I thought was going to win, but it was below like previous comps. And if there was that extended bidding, I would have been back in it, like for not even a question. And I just think there's a lot of examples of those that are going to happen. And I could think of several cards that I had sold on auction that went a little less than what I expected, that with fighting at the end, where it's just, you know how it's like freezes everything and then like five bids come in. Would they have duked it out? One was a Caitlin Clark gold prism, the Fearless from WWE. Yeah. Would have done way better, I think, with a little bit of extended. And then the other was the true gold Cooper Flag, the first Bowman Chrome auto. So I think it would have done better on extended too.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point. I mean, I definitely if you had to have me guess, like, I would say, yeah, it'll probably lead to higher prices. Like, just like you said, like there's almost, yeah. But first off, yeah, I'm biased because one, I don't do auctions really. And two, it's hard for me to understand because I'm just not really like wired like that. For me, like I set my price, and then if it doesn't go, then I'm done with it. You know,
I'm the same way. I sit there, I favorite it. My phone alerts me. It counts down 3 seconds. This is my price. I'm either going to win it or I'm not going to win it. And I'm not going to let that whole, the mentality of, throw it on. Oh, I've been overbid. Let me bid again. No, because I've already said this is what I'm willing to pay for this card.
Yeah.
And if somebody paid more, then they deserve it.
Yeah. So do you do sudden death on your whatnot, or do you do the extended?
I mostly do sudden death.
Okay.
Sometimes with and that was my other caveat I was going to put to the extended bidding thing. Like, with the like on whatnot, for instance, if it's a bigger card, I won't do sudden death. But that ends up being 30 more seconds of people's times, right? Like on eBay, I don't know how it's exactly going to be implemented. Once again, if it's a 15K card, I don't mind if we drag it out for a minute or two to make sure, whatever. But it's just like, if there's going to be shenanigans with cheaper car, I don't know.
I think there should be a threshold, like you're saying. And the only bit of information I've seen, if it's a bid in the last 2 minutes, it gets extended 2 minutes. But I don't know if that is like just continuous or what. Yeah. But I think the importance of the threshold, like, that needs to happen. Because like, if you're talking like you said, like $10-15 cards and we're waiting minutes, it's just
I just know I get why the auction houses do it, but I will say, definitely as a buyer, I have not enjoyed how I just want to know when it's done, if I won it or I didn't win it. No hard feelings either way. I just sometimes it interferes with my life. I'm like, what are we doing here?
I know you traveled to a lot of shows. Top 5 shows that you've gone to. I'll do in no particular order. But I like London Card Show. I just love the vibes over there. It's just so cool going to an international card show, and it's just like super wholesome. So many just like true collectors and the camaraderie and stuff. It's just special because I like the Dallases and stuff, but
it's just like a shark fest. It's just a bunch of sharks in the water. It's like, it feels very adversarial, which I don't like. And I'm sure there's plenty of people who have fun and have friends, and I have friends. I don't know. I just like the vibe over there. So I'll lump in Dublin Card Show as well. I've only been once, but that was really cool in Ireland. Besides that, ooh, I don't. Fanatics Fest and the National, I guess that's kind of cheating, but like I love those. Obviously, those are big time shows.
Yeah.
I'll just keep it at the 4, to be honest. There's I'm kind of there you go. Well, Vancouver, I got to lump in there too, and it sounds like I'm just doing fan service, but Vancouver also has that. London, all the shows outside the U.S. in Toronto as well. Yep. Just a better vibe. It's just people there who actually like cards, and and also like it's almost like the cards. And obviously, it's easy for me to say when this is a full-time thing, but it's like the cards are almost like it's about getting the beer after the show. That's the vibes in other cities, and I just love that. Yeah. So yeah, I would say overseas. So now I guess Vancouver is my 5th. So there you go.
I like that phrase that you just said there about getting the beers after the show. I like that.
Yeah. It's a good vibe, man. I like it. That's what it's for 99.9% of. I mean, even for me to an extent. Like now when I go to shows, like I mean, I don't really set up as a dealer anymore, and I can do a lot of my stuff online. So for now, I'm kind of at the point where I feel like I'm like most people in the hobby. It's like I go to a show to kind of just have a good time. You know, that's really nowadays what I'm looking for.
Do you notice though when you go to a show and you say I'm going to that show, I'm going to have a good time, and after you're there like an hour or 2 hours, and you're like, man, I wish I had a spot at one of these tables, right? Sometimes I go to a show and then I say, oh, this is going to be fun, and then all of a sudden I get there, I'm like, man, just give me a table and a case, and the damage I could do, right?
Yeah, I'll say certain shows. But really, to be honest, and this might be a hot take, like it's only like the really big shows that I feel that way anymore. You know, I've done the smaller, like not even just the local shows. Like for me, unless it's like a big show, it's just a long day being set up. And I personally just haven't seen the reward so much recently, setting up for a full day. Like, trust me, when I'm at the National, I'm going to be like, I wish I was sitting at one of these tables, but for the most part now, like with what I'm doing, like I like my online kind of flow of buying and selling is working better for me. So I don't get that feeling too much anymore, unless it's like a really big show where things are popping off.
I'm 100% with you.
Yeah.
So speaking of the National, Adrian T, what's your game plan at the National?
Man, that's a tough one. I don't know. I think we maybe talked about it a little bit before, but last year at the National, I killed myself doing content. Like I think I did 4 videos, and they were all super involved. It was like one of them was, I mean, can you make money selling sports cards? And I was going to try every different way to do it. So I did grading, flipping, dollar boxing, like a bunch of different things all in one video. And then that was just one. And then I had like 3 different videos I was filming. So I actually felt like I barely went to SoCo last year just because I was dead at the end of every day. So the game plan for this year, I have a couple, I'm bringing a lot of cards that I'm hoping to sell. So I want to kind of get that done day 1 or day 2. And like, so first 2 days are kind of take care of business, sell my cards. I have to submit some stuff to PSA, kind of get that done. And then also kind of, you know, there's going to be deals early. So I kind of want to really check out the tables and stuff like that. But I'll say after that, then kind of just, I want to just soak it in more. I feel like this is only my 3rd year going. Mm-hmm. So maybe my 4th. No, I think it's only my 3rd year going. And I feel like I haven't actually like experienced it properly. So the main thing is like almost like, don't have a game plan. Like I just want to experience it and have a little fun, I guess.
Yeah. Do you you videotape all your own stuff out there?
I usually have someone film for me. So that helps a lot. Vlogging, I'm terrible at it. Like it's just I don't. It's hard for me to focus on so many things at once. But so I usually have someone filming for me.
Nice. An employee of yours, like you employ them to do this for you?
Yeah, well, so people do it different ways. I know most of the YouTube guys, they have like a full-time guy who travels with them and they pay for flights and hotels and salary and everything. For me, I've just found it a lot more cost efficient just to hire people in the cities. So that's usually what I do. But the downside is you kind of have to like get used to working with the new person every time. But that's usually how I kind of like, I have like a patch sometimes, like last year at the National, like someone canceled on me last minute. So it was like my girlfriend's friend's cousin was like, heck, I'll do it. And it was just like, this girl who works at a coffee shop just showed up and was like, yeah, hey, I'll help you film. And she knew nothing about cards, but it was great. And we figured it out. So yeah, we just kind of have a weird system for getting it done.
Nice. Zip, you got anything else over there?
No, I thought we hit a lot.
We did. This is
cool. Well, I'll throw it to the audience one more time if it's okay. See if there's any more questions before we wrap it up here. If anyone has anything pressing.
And why we're waiting to see if anything comes through. So your plan, you're going to walk the National?
Yep.
You'll just be walking it. You'll be in on Wednesday. You'll be there
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Does it open? I think it opens up on maybe not. No, I think when does it open up? Do you know? Wednesday. Okay. Yeah. I get in on Tuesday. I guess that makes sense. Yeah. Get in on Tuesday, sleep, and then be there early on Wednesday because I'm coming from the West Coast. Yeah. Maybe I bet you I can weasel my way into some table space at SoCo. So maybe see if that'll work. But yeah, walk the National and see what we can make happen.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there Wednesday to Sunday. So I'll definitely have to make a plan with you just to meet up.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
And I am at my residency for this week. So if I spent another week away from my 18-month-old, my wife would kill me, but also I wouldn't want to be away that long. So
makes sense.
Next year, big things, hopefully.
All right. Live podcast next year.
Absolutely. Hold you to it.
I love it.
I was saying the last 3 Nationals, I would go back to my room afterwards, after the trade night, after dinner, after trade nights. It'd be like midnight, 1 a.m. and I'd be doing this, putting a video up, like a recapping the day, So I said, I'm going to have to get more hours in a day out there because it becomes tiring.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing for me was just, maybe it's because I was so like, for me, I can do long, like for instance, I mean, I could ship for like 14 hours in a day. Like I could just do it. But for some reason, I guess the videos, especially when they're really creative, I get really stressed out thinking about, okay, this has to be here and all this stuff. So then that really, really drained me. So it was like, it wasn't even that late. It'd be like 5 or 6. I'm like, I'm done.
So no questions, but make sure you get those dinner reservations booked. I don't know if Craig, New York City Sports Cards or Homer is here because we booked some steak dinners with those. I booked 2 separate dinners with those guys. So
I love it.
We booked those a while ago because everything sells out there quick.
Yeah. Well, with how I usually eat at card shows, the good news is Panda Express no reservations are needed. So I'll be okay. And then the only other question, I'll throw it to Eric over here. Favorite show in the Bay Area, San Francisco Card Show for sure. And then I think we did it. We touched them all. We answered everyone's questions. I think we did a good job.
Do you go to West Coast Card Show?
I do. I haven't been in a bit, which I don't know why, because it's super close to me.
Yeah.
But I do like that show, and I think that'd be a good show for me to set up at soon. I think because unfortunately, I don't know why. Like once again, maybe I'm making myself a little too self-important, but I would love to get table space at the National, and I feel like I should be able to make it happen, but it's just so tough to get in there.
Yep. Well, I do have space at West Coast, so if you come down to West Coast, come see me.
Perfect. I appreciate it. We'll have to make it happen.
Well, I appreciate you coming on. This has been awesome. I'm looking forward to meeting you in person at the National. And anything else, Zip, before we shut it down?
No, just I'll keep watching those videos as they come out, Troy.
Yeah.
So thanks for coming on and chatting with us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. This was fun. I really appreciate it.
Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for listening. Please like, please subscribe, and we will be back next week with a brand new episode. Fellas, have a good evening.
Au revoir.
See you.